Welcome! Today we're going to tackle a huge problem in the AI world, building applications that don't just, well, make stuff up. We're going to dive into the exact tools and a production-ready framework that can take you from a simple idea to a really powerful and reliable system.
So here's our game plan for today. We'll kick things off with why AIs hallucinate in the first place. Then, we'll introduce the power couple of tools to solve it. We'll walk through building your first pipeline, cover some common dev errors you'll want to dodge, and then wrap up with the big picture of going from a prototype to full-on production.
All right, first things first. Before we can build a great AI app, we really need to get our heads around a core challenge that comes with large language models right out of the box. This is the question, isn't it? It keeps every developer up at night. You ask your AI something specific, and it gives you a generic, unhelpful, or even worse, a completely fabricated answer. We call that a hallucination. And you know what? It's a huge roadblock to building any kind of trust in AI applications.
So, the industry-standard solution to this whole problem is a technique called Retrieval-Augmented Generation, or just RAG for short. The best way to think about it is like giving your AI its own specialized library. Before it even thinks about answering you, it looks up the facts in your documents, making sure its response is grounded in reality, not just making things up.
So, how do we actually build one of these RAG pipelines efficiently, without starting from scratch? Well, let's meet the power couple for the job, PineCone and LangChain.
I love this analogy because it just clicks. Think of LangChain as the orchestra conductor. It's the brains of the operation, coordinating the entire workflow from the moment a question is asked to the moment an answer is given. And PineCone? That's the high-speed library, a super specialized memory that LangChain relies on to find the exact right piece of information in the blink of an eye.
So why does so many developers pick PineCone? It's actually pretty simple. It was built for production from day one. It's fully managed, which means you never have to think about servers or infrastructure. It just scales. Plus, it's incredibly fast, it handles real-time data, no problem, and it comes with all the serious enterprise-grade security and features you'd expect.
And this number really says it all. We're talking about query times of less than 50 milliseconds. And that's not just on a small data set, that's when you're searching through billions of pieces of information. That's the kind of performance you absolutely need for a responsive, real-world application.
This comparison table really tells the story, doesn't it? Just focus on the management and cost rows. With PineCone, you've got a simple pay-per-use model. With the alternatives, you're suddenly in the business of managing your own servers and infrastructure. That's a massive difference in operational overhead and, frankly, hidden costs.
Yeah, this comes straight from our source analysis. The takeaway is crystal clear. If you want to move fast and spend your time building your app, not managing a database, the choice becomes pretty obvious. Okay, let's see how these two tools actually come together to build a functional RAG pipeline. It's a really logical process that we can break down into 5 distinct steps.
So here's the flow. First, you load your data. Then you split it up into smaller, meaningful chunks so the AI can focus on really specific passages. Those chunks get converted into numerical vectors. We call them embeddings, which is how the database understands meaning. You then store those in PineCone. And finally, you build the retriever chain in LangChain, which basically teaches the orchestra conductor how to pull the right information from its library to generate a grounded, factual answer.
Now, building this is actually pretty straightforward, but our sources show that developers often hit the same few snags over and over. So let's walk through them so you can dodge these common errors and have a really smooth build.
First up, and this is probably the most common one you'll see, problems with your API keys. But the good news is, they're super easy to fix once you know what to look for.
Okay, so here's the critical point. Your application has to know your API keys before it tries to connect. The trick is to set them as environment variables before you import the PineCone or LangChain libraries in your code. The order really matters here.
Next up, outdated packages or using the wrong import statements. These can lead to some really frustrating errors that might seem cryptic at first, but they usually have a very simple solution.
If you start seeing errors about attributes or modules not being found, your first move should almost always be to just run a package upgrade. These libraries are evolving fast, and using the latest LangChain PineCone integration package usually gets rid of these conflicts immediately.
And finally, let's tackle connection issues, those errors that pop up when your code tries to talk to your PineCone index.
There are 2 things to always double-check here. First, is your index name spelled correctly in your code? A simple typo is a super common culprit. Second, Make sure the dimensions of your index match the embedding model you're using. For example, OpenAI's popular models use 1536 dimensions. If you have a mismatch there, it's going to cause a connection failure every single time.
So, after navigating all those potential hurdles, what's the big takeaway for you as a developer who's looking to build the next great AI application? The bottom line is really clear. This stack of LangChain and PineCone is designed to get you from a simple idea to a scalable, production-ready application as fast as possible, without bogging you down with all those operational headaches.
This combination of tools effectively solves one of the biggest problems in AI reliability today. It puts the power to create fact-based, trustworthy AI directly in your hands. So, the only real question left is, what will you build with it?